Okay. Our next speaker, I know you know his work. We know a lot about what happened in the IRS because of his work. We know a lot about what happens behind closed doors in all of government because of his work. Please join me in welcoming Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch.
God bless America. We are not here, thank you, we are not here to ask politicians to keep their promises. We're here to ask the politicians to do their jobs. We want them to restore lawful and constitutional governance to this poor city. The Trump administration is being undermined from within, by the deep state bureaucrats who oppose him ideologically and stand against his agenda to de-administer the administrative state. Why is John Koskinen still IRS Commissioner? Why is the Justice Department in every day and every way protecting Hillary Clinton? Judicial Watch is in court against administration lawyers from the Trump administration, not the Clinton administration, not the Obama administration, where they are protecting Hillary Clinton's interests. I want an audit to be done of the Justice Department cover-up of the Hillary Clinton email scandal. My guess is the president wants one too. But either due to insubordination or outright hostility, his appointees do not want to do the work that's been entrusted to them by the American people. Because to go after Hillary Clinton is to go after Barack Obama. It's to go after the State Department. It's to go after the Justice Department. It's to go after the FBI. We hear a lot about IRS and tax reform. We don't need to reform our tax system. We need to reform the IRS. The IRS is a sword of Damocles over our head and a threat, clear and present danger to the First Amendment. Yet this Justice Department said they don't want to reopen the IRS criminal investigation. Why? Because they might have to ask someone by the name of Robert Mueller, why were you collaborating with Lois Lerner to put in jail the very groups Lois Lerner was suppressing at the IRS? They don't want to have to ask the Justice Department attorneys who are working with Lois Lerner to get the IRS files of virtually every group in the country that was politically active. None of this was exposed by Congress, the media, or the agencies, but through litigation brought by a citizens group, a little old citizens group called Judicial Watch. The corruption you heard from Mr. Kirkman about the Obamacare exception in Congress. We didn't know about that from Congress. We didn't know about that from the administration. We knew about that because Judicial Watch forced it out of the D.C. government. And they gave us the fraudulent forms Congress signed on behalf of Republicans and Democrats, saying we're a small business, less than 45 people. Let us into the Obamacare exchanges. Your members of Congress, if they're getting Obamacare, are getting that subsidy in violation of federal law. And I guarantee you, any repeal being discussed isn't going to repeal the illegal subsidies for Obamacare congressmen. This is what we're concerned about. The other side wants to bore you with policy. We want the rule of law enforced. We need to battle and end corruption. The president needs to make this a priority. His attorney general needs to make it a priority. His FBI director needs to make it a priority. The State Department, still covering up for Hillary Clinton. They are slowing down the release of Hillary Clinton's emails under this administration. They are defending her mishandling of classified information under this administration. How frustrating it is for Judicial Watch attorneys to go into federal court and be confronted across the table by lawyers for the Trump administration defending Obama and Hillary Clinton. Then we face the rule of law crisis caused by Mr. Comey. This was an administration, the Obama administration, that was willing to use the IRS, the FBI, and the Department of Justice to suppress the Tea Party movement in order to ensure his election in 2012. Is it a stretch to think he did the same thing in protecting Hillary Clinton and targeting Donald Trump in 2016? Of course not. The real Russia scandal is the Obama surveillance, targeting, and illegal classified leaks of targeting Donald Trump and his team. The real Russia scandal is the FBI director, in a fit, leaving the FBI, taking documents with him, authorizing the leak from those documents to the New York Times in order to get a special counsel prosecuted. Committing a crime to get another crime investigated? How does that work in Washington, D.C.? And Mr. Mueller, again, implicated in the IRS scandal, implicated in the improper targeting of James Rosen of Fox News Channel. Remember the FISA warrant against Fox News' James Rosen and his parents? That's Mueller time. And Mr. Mueller interviewed supposedly for the same FBI director position he's now criminally investigating Donald Trump for. And on top of that, he's answerable to no one, constitutionally speaking. End it now, shut it down, fire Mr. Mueller. And what are we doing about it? We're doing what we know best. We're not going to rely on the administration. We're not going to rely on Congress. We're not going to rely on media. We're going to rely on ourselves. We have 52 lawsuits against the Trump administration. We're battling them on transparency and secrecy. And surprise, surprise, a lot of the lawsuits are because the deep state doesn't want to turn over documents that might be hurtful to the Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton gang, and that might be helpful to Donald Trump. But the wonderful thing is we don't have to rely on Congress. We have shown, whether it be with the IRS scandal that we exposed, the Benghazi scandal which we exposed, the Clinton email scandal which we exposed, the courts can provide redress still. The system still works. And let me end saying this is a great country. Because for all the corruption and complaints we have, there's nowhere else on earth where you can go into court and be on equal footing, relatively speaking, with the IRS, the State Department, the President of the United States, and Congress, you name it. If we were anywhere else, we wouldn't be able to do it. So God bless America, and God bless you for your personal activism. You can't rely on the politicians. You have to do it yourselves. Thank you very much.